Let's talk about snow, because that's what we talked about at the beginning of last week. We're going to talk about it again. TJ and I have already disclosed our distaste for it, so I don't know how you feel about snow. I'm assuming you hate it because you live in it like I do.
Um, I don't hate it per se. But here's what I will say when it comes to snow. As a kid going to, school and you'd have those snow days, you'd absolutely love snow. When you go to work and you become an adult and snow kind of is there, you tend to hate it. So my
the
opinion kind of changed as I got older, but I mean, I don't mind the snow. It is what it is.
Now, the people on YouTube, I am aware I'm wearing a snow camouflage Nike shirt. I promise you, I'm not being a hypocrite. I just don't want to be seen when I go outside. But no, um, I made it very clear last podcast that I detest snow. I hate cold weather to a fierce degree. Kind of the same thing. Whenever snow days happened in school, and I got like an extra 2 hours of sleep, it was PogChamp. Now that I'm an adult and sometimes I have to go places, other days I just wake up and like seasonal depression's a thing after you get past the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the sun in 3 months. And it makes me very, very sad.
See, here's the funny thing because the past couple weeks I've been talking about how after I graduate with my bachelor's, I'm gonna move to Texas, and all this fucking snow that hit here came from Texas, and it was about 6 to 8 inches.
And I'm glad you mentioned Texas because that was where the not so serious part of this was going. Or the more serious part of this was going, because Texas and other states not prepared to deal with cold weather. I understand why you're not prepared to deal with cold weather, and I apologize that our shitty weather made it down to you and you guys don't know how to deal with it. So, like,
A truck shitter.
yeah,
Welcome to hell.
Welcome to why the rest of us that deal with snow on a yearly basis don't like it. But, in all seriousness, please stay safe. Please find ways to get water, because I know that's the big issue.
Mm.
Just, if you can, that's about all I can really say, is just stay safe and maybe buy a shovel for next time.
Stay warm.
I mean,
That's
you
the thing,
really...
though. Like, if their heat and power's out, other than like just layering up hoodies and starting a bonfire in the living room, I'm not sure how the staying warm thing can work, because it's not like they're gonna have portable heaters because they live in Texas.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I just this should be a lesson that every state should be prepared for if a snowstorm is to happen.
I know, side note, because a few years ago, North Carolina got hit pretty hard with snow, and I had one of my ex-high school teammates that moved to North Carolina for work. And whenever he moved down there, and like they got hit by like 2 inches of snow, and the entire state was freaking out because they had no way to deal with it. They actually had to borrow plow trucks from Virginia and Maryland, where I live.
Yeah, I mean, it's better safe than sorry. And
I understand a snow shovel and a portable heater sounds like a silly purchase when it's 120 degrees in July, but trust, anything can happen.
it reminds me a lot about flood insurance. If you guys even know what that is.
I live at to give you perspective on that, I live at the base of the Appalachian Mountain, so I'm very aware of what flooding is.
So not a lot of people, at least where I live, have flood insurance. And we were like the only house that had flood insurance. Next thing you know, the sewers backed up about 5 years ago, and the basement was flooded. About the entire city, the basements were flooded. So if you had flood insurance, you were fine. If you didn't, which like 90% of the people did not. So it kind of correlates with that. It's good to have some sort of preparation for if something does happen. Because you never know. If Texas is snowing, if it's snowing in Texas, that should just give everyone the rundown to at least be prepared for if snow hits a state.
And it's not even like, not to pick on Texas, but it's not even like it was a little bit of snow. It was like a decent amount of snow. And like the comment on flood insurance, not only do we have flood insurance here, but most of the volunteer local fire departments are also equipped with giant ass pumps because basements flooding here is such a common occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Listen,
I'm not even sure TJ has a basement in Missouri.
Okay. On the flooding topic, back whenever, how long ago was it? It was, I think I was in high school. I think I was a senior in high school. I used to live in my sister's basement because I didn't want to live with my parents at the time, or shit happened, whatever. I would wake up to 3 to 4 inches of water on the basement floor on a daily basis. Like anytime it would rain, there would be a giant ass puddle surrounding my setup, my bed, everything.
Yeah, that's the joke I make every time it rains heavily here, is that I get an indoor pool.
Yeah, and now I live. Earlier this year it like flooded, quote unquote, because I live 5 minutes away from the Missouri River, and it got a block away from my house.
I mean, was that also during the time when Texas was also underwater? Not to pick on Texas again.
I'm not sure. I don't remember when exactly it was, but
Was
I know
it during the hurricane shenanigans of last year? Because I know like half the United States was underwater during that.
Possibly. I just know that for whatever reason, this is kind of screwed up, but I'm on the Missouri side of the Missouri River, and there's a small town on the Kansas side of it. And every time it goes to flood, for whatever reason, we break the levees to flood Kansas before we flood Missouri.
I mean, yeah, it's called the Missouri River. They're gonna take care of the other states first.
But like, it just blows my mind. They're just like, oh yeah, screw you guys.